the main reason kung bakit ako nag-start ng Bible study, I want to share the things that I have with you. It's something na it's very personal, and it really gave me joy realizing na ito pala yung meaning nung sinastudy ko yung Bible verse na to. And I want to share this with you kasi ayoko tong ikip sa sarili ko. So yan, without further ado, let's start. Firstly, so I want you to go sa Daniel chapter 12 verse 12.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 12 says here, Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days.
Naka-NIV ako, kuya, New International Version. Verse 12 is, Blessed is the one who waits for and reaches the end of 1,335 days. Same lang, kuya.
Almost same lang siya, no? I think ang difference
Yes
niya
po.
is riches. The word riches here, this is very important. Let's take note of this one later on. Pero for now, from the verse itself, ano yung isang bagay na napansin nyo dito sa verse? Is it something very interesting? Meron bang isang detail that really stands out the most to you? Or right now, ang iniisip nyo is, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Like, wala kayong maintindihan sa verse na to. Let's start by asking Ashley, what do you think about this verse? Is there something very interesting na nabasa mo or natagpuan mo dito sa verse? Or right now, as in zero insight ka muna?
Hindi naman po totally zero insight, pero hindi ko, parang ang hirap niya po i-explain into word. So parang gusto ko po siya maintindihan in a deeper sense. Parang ganun po.
Okay. And that's good thing na you want to basically unpack kung ano talaga yung ibig sabihin ng verse na to. And to be honest, for me, nung binabasa ko siya before pa, when I was reading through Daniel, Hosea, Joel, and other Old Testament books, ito yung isang bagay that's really interesting to me. And later on, I decided to study this in depth. How about sa'yo, Jewel? What do you think is one thing that stands out the most to you about this verse? Like yung pagkabasa mo lang? Or is it like zero insight pa?
The moment ko yun na, like, sinabi mo sa akin kanina na magbabible study tayo, and then sa Daniel 12:12, which hindi ko pa like nababasa yung whole book ng Daniel, is of course I've got curious kung ano yung meaning sa blessed who waits for 1,335 days, kung kailangan ba natin maghintay ng ganun katagal for what, kasi nga 'di ba yung chapter ng Daniel ng 12 is parang ano siya about end of times. Tapos medyo nagka-insight na ako, pero hindi ko lang, katulad din sabi ni Ate Ashley kanina, yung hindi ko lang siya mag-gets is ano yung ibig sabihin ng 1,335 days sa verse na to.
How about sa'yo naman, Shekinah?
For me, I think I have konting insight about this text. The 1,335 days, I think. Yes, prophecy po kasi siya, diba? I don't know if it's the birth of Messiah or some event, but this is a prophecy kasi. So, I'm not sure kung ano yung mangyayari dun sa 1,335 days. But I know that, siya, prophecy siya. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Thank you din for sharing. And one thing na na-mention mo doon is that it's a prophecy. And we'll take note of that as we go and continue to unpack the meaning of this verse basically. And as na-mention din ni Ashley tsaka ni Jewel, yung meaning ng 1,335 days. It's actually really interesting na gusto ko din i-share sa inyo later on as we study this verse a bit deeper. But first, pag-aralan natin muna yung context nito. Actually, the bigger picture is found in Daniel 10, chapter 10, hanggang Daniel chapter 12. Actually, ganun siya kalaki. But first, let's start by reading the I would say, a closer context dito. Yung mas malapit na context. So, ang gagawin natin is magbabasa tayo ng one verse each. Ako muna magsa-start, tapos si Ashley, tapos si Shekinah, tapos si Jewel. So, we'll start by reading verse 5 all the way to verse 13. Okay? And we can read sa sarili nating version. So, hopefully, lahat na ay ready and Mag-start ako. Daniel chapter 12 verse 5. Then I, Daniel, looked, and there stood two others, one on this river bank and the other on that river bank. Ashley?
Daniel chapter 12 verse 6. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, How long shall it be to the end of these wonders?
Okay na?
7. Then I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever that it shall be for a time, times, and half a time. And when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished.
Verse 8, I heard, but I did not understand, so I asked, My Lord, what will the outcome of all this be?
And verse 9, and he said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white, and refined. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days.
Verse 12. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days.
13, As for you, go your way till the end. You will rest, and then at the end of the days, you will rise to receive your allotted inheritance.
Ayan. So, right off the bat, ang isang bagay na nakita ko dito is even si Daniel mismo hindi niya naintindihan. Especially sa verse 9, sabi niya dito, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Yeah. So basically, this is something na nalito din si Daniel. And he was not told everything na in the sense na naintindihan niya. So, at the surface, it's something na even the prophet Daniel, who was one of the wise men that had understanding of dreams and visions. Actually, if you go back, and I want you to go just very quickly sa verse 17 ng Daniel chapter 1. So just jump a bit quickly sa Daniel chapter 1 verse 17. And I'll read this very quickly. Yung sa last part kasi, sa Daniel 1 verse 17, Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. And yet it's interesting kung bakit sa chapter 12, verse 8, although I heard, I did not understand. One of the things that really defines Daniel chapter 10, verse 12, yung section kung saan talaga yung Daniel chapter 12. This is a prophecy. This is a dream. Or what I would say is this is a vision. And basically, it's one of the qualities na meron dito. It's a prophecy. Meron tinatawag na apocalyptic prophecy. Pag apocalyptic prophecy, it's happening more than just sa time ni Daniel. It's beyond sa time ni Daniel. And I want you to go quickly right now sa Daniel chapter 10, verse 1. Sa Daniel 10, verse 1, can someone read pala dito? So, can I ask Jewel?
10 verse 1, Kuya.
Yes.
So, Daniel 10 verse 1, In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of the Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel, who was called Belteshazzar. Its message was true, and it concerned a great war. The understanding of the message came to him in a vision.
So, this is the idea na we can start off right off the bat when we go through Daniel 12 verses 5 to 13. And dito din yung part kung saan matatagpuan natin yung Daniel chapter 12 verse 12. Yung blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. Now, there are two things na ma-consider natin dito sa Daniel chapter 10 verse Daniel chapter 10 until 12. And by the way, I just want to let you guys know na hindi rin unlimited ang Zoom natin. So, every time na makakat tayo sa meeting, let's rejoin again the meeting. And then, we'll continue the Bible study until 9 p.m. naman. So yeah, we still have 10 minutes, so we can still continue. Now, there are two contexts na ma-consider natin dito. But I'll point it out to you as we read some of the verses here. Now, can someone read again chapter 10 verse 1? And then another one, can someone read chapter 10 verse 4? So this time, can I ask Shekinah, can you read chapter 10 verse 1 again? Tapos, si Ashley, can you read chapter 10 verse 4? So, Shekinah, feel free to unmute na din if you are there na.
Daniel chapter 10 verse 1 says here, in the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a message was revealed to Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. The message was true, but the appointed time was long, and he understood the message and had understanding of the vision.
And Ashley, verse 4.
Chapter 10, verse 4. And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel.
Hiddekel. Now, sa version ko, it's Tigris. But yeah, we'll consider those details. Una, sa binasa ni Shekinah, I want you to take note na yung events na nangyari sa Daniel chapter 10 until Daniel chapter 12, it happened during the reign of who? Of Cyrus, king of Persia. Yeah, Cyrus, king of Persia. Anong understanding ninyo sa time ni King Persia? Meron ba kayong idea kung anong nangyari during his time? Or like basically, alam niyo lang si King Cyrus? Let's ask Jewel. What do you think, Jewel? Meron ka bang idea regarding sa kay King Cyrus? Or like for now, wala ka talaga idea kung sino si King Cyrus, ano yung ginawa niya?
Wala pa, kuya.
Okay. And yeah, that's good. It's alright naman if we don't know a lot of things right now. But yeah, thank you for sharing that part. So, how about si Ashley? What do you think, Ashley? Kilala mo ba si King Cyrus or he's someone na... Sino ba si Cyrus? Iba yung Cyrus kilala ko, charot.
Naririnig ko lang po siya, yung name, narinig ko pa yung name, pero parang wala pa po.
Okay. How about si Shekinah?
I know Cyrus. King of Persia, Medo-Persia.
Oh, okay. So, King of Medo-Persia. Other than that, wala ka pang masyadong alam, no? Like,
I close siya kay Daniel. And also, he was the one parang to let Israel go, some of the Israel to go back to their place. Ayun. And also, he has prophecies from Jeremiah.
Okay. Yeah, it's good thing na na-mention mo yung sa decree. Kasi siya yung nagpatupad na babalik yung Israel, babalik sa Jerusalem para ma-rebuild yung temple. And later on, as you mentioned, nandito rin siya sa Daniel chapter 6. But that's another thing na papag-aralan natin later on. One of the things na ma-mention ko about King Cyrus was that he was also the one who succeeded or who conquered Babylon. Kasi diba inatake niya yung Babylon? During the time, ang nagstay sa Babylon, ang mamumuno sa Babylon, si King Belshazzar. And if you are familiar with the story sa handwriting sa pader, ang nakasulat doon is Mene Mene Tekel Upharsin. Then after na explain ni Daniel kay King Belshazzar, yung king of Babylon sa kanya, later on, na-conquer yung Babylon. Napatay si King Belshazzar, and then ang nagwagi doon ay ang army ng Medo-Persia led by King Cyrus. This is the same person. And you know what? It's one of the interesting details na gusto ko i-mention to sa inyo. This is something na hindi to na mention sa Bible. But it's according to history. And it's important na ma-share ko din to sa inyo. Diba? Kung I want you to go very quickly lang sa Isaiah chapter 45. And before ko i-close yung meeting kasi we have like 4 minutes left. But I want you to go very quickly sa Isaiah 45. So can someone read verse 1? Just verse 1. In this case, can we ask Ashley, can you read Isaiah 45 verse 1?
Read lang po.
Sure.
Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the lions of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut.
Yeah. So basically, merong prophecy na binigay si Isaiah here, even before pa ipinanganak si Cyrus, that God has anointed Cyrus para magwagi laban sa nations. Later on, he became king of Persia. And you know what? It's really interesting kasi according to history, merong isang dream na ipakita sa king of Babylon, and during that time, hindi lang hari or yung mga kings of Babylon, hindi lang si Nebuchadnezzar at saka si Belshazzar. During that time, merong isang king na pangalan ay si King Nabonidus. Si King Nabonidus, during the time na namumuno siya, he had a dream. And in that dream, merong god of Babylon na ang pangalan ay si Marduk. Si Marduk na god of Babylon, nagbigay din siya ng approval sa kanyang quote-unquote servant na ibigay sa kanya yung kingdom of Babylon kay King Cyrus or kay General Cyrus, so to speak. So basically, according sa history, merong detail na ipinakita si King Nabonidus na fini-favor ni Marduk si Cyrus. Kasi mas sineserve ni Cyrus si Marduk kaysa kay King Nabonidus. So naipakita sa kanya yung dream na later on magwawagi si Cyrus tsaka ibibigay yung kingdom of Babylon sa kanya. So basically, parang may relationship yung sa pagpapakita ni God kay Isaiah tapos yung pagpapakita ni God kay Nabonidus. So one interesting detail, actually, again, we're not going outside sa Daniel 12 verse 12. But one thing na gusto ko i-share sa inyo is yung evidence or yung ibig sabihin nito, just from the context itself, we see that God is really working sa human history. Not just sa biblical history, but also in history na hindi Israel. Or we could say it sa pagan history. God is still working. And He is, His purposes and plans nasusunod talaga. So again, one of the main things na it's really interesting to point out regarding kay King Cyrus is, God is also at work, hindi lang kay Prophet Isaiah when he gave this prophecy, but also kay Nabonidus, who is a pagan king. So yeah, that's one detail that's really interesting. And another thing regarding sa Tigris River or sa mention ni Jewel is Hiddekel. One key idea that we can keep in mind is regarding siya isa siya sa mga lugar kung saan may mga digmaan. Meron din evidences of how I would say this. Meron siyang isa sa mga pieces ng history na meron siya. Parang historical books. Pero instead of books, we have rocks. Yung rocks, nakaukit din yung mga batas or yung mga documents na kung saan nire-record nila yung nangyari dun sa history nila. Kasi this happened like many years before, like thousands of years before Christ. So we have this sort of location, tapos meron tayong timeline kung saan si King Cyrus. So these are the two details na gusto kong i-share sa inyo as we come to understand Daniel chapter 12, verse 12. Kasi during the time na na-experience din niya yung vision or nabigay sa kanya yung message, he was in Tigris, kung saan may history na ng mga digmaan. And this was during the time of Cyrus, king of Persia. So yeah, those are the two things. Now, can I ask someone again to read this verse? Let's ask, this time, Jewel, can you read the verse na nandito sa screen?
Again, kuya?
Can you read Daniel 12, verse 12? Here's a screen.
Blessed is the one who waits and reaches the 1,335 days.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, kanina, tinanong ko kayo kung ano yung ibig sabihin kung ano yung isang bagay na nag-stand out sa inyo. And for most of the time, basically, we have yet to study kung ano talaga yung ibig sabihin ng 1,335 days. But before we go talaga deeper sa prophecy dito, I want to share with you 3 of the 4 key terms or keywords na i-share ko to sa inyo. Una, itong blessed. Hold on, let me check nga. Oh, wait lang. Interesting. Yeah. So we have here blessed, tapos waits, tapos riches. Then later on yung days. So for this word blessed, this is really interesting kasi it's more than just, blessing in a sense na binibigay ni Lord yung blessing. But if you really go back sa original language, sa original text, and by the way, this verse is written in Hebrew. The word blessed, ang translation niya sa word nito, and the way it is used, para lang siya equivalent ng term na lucky. Alam mo yung sinaswerte? Yun yung isa sa mga paggamit dito sa blessed. And ang isa sa mga phrases na pwede natin siyang i-describe best ay hindi lang yung pinagpala. Pero this word blessed, related siya sa idea ng true happiness. So I want you to imagine someone na sobrang saya niya na kahit hindi na siya kumain. Kasi meron siyang experience na kung saan naging masaya siya. That kind of happiness, yun yung madidescribe natin dito sa word blessed. So hindi lang siya yung pinagpapala sa Panginoon. Pero this person is experiencing that true happiness. Hindi lang yung happiness in terms of emotion, pero yung true happiness talaga yung malalim, in a sense. And connected with this word is the idea na yung pagtitiwala sa Panginoon at saka yung tunay talaga na karunungan. So kapag blessed ka dito sa verse na to, it's not just about na pinagpapala ka, marami kang nare-receive. No, it means that you are truly happy. So, yun yung parang isa sa mga big ideas na pwede natin maintindihan dito sa word na bless, sa original language. Next, we have here the word waits. Yung naghihintay. Now, I want you to notice here, it's really interesting kasi hindi mo to matatagpo. Yung original word na waits, hindi mo siya makikita sa first 5 books ng Old Testament. Sa Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. As in, wala talaga. Hindi mo makikita yung original word na wait doon. Pero, makikita mo siya sa mga books tulad ng Psalms, Proverbs, Book of Job. And also, you could find this also sa mga books tulad ni Daniel, ni Ezekiel, and other prophetic books. Now, ang ibig sabihin ng waits, ibig sabihin dito sa paghihintay, hindi lang siya regarding sa paghihintay lang, as in may hinihintay ka. Whether you're waiting for someone or you really want to die. Kasi according sa Job chapter 3, yung tong word na to, ginamit ito ni Job to describe his condition. So I want you to go very quickly sa Job chapter 3. Job chapter 3, just to have an idea about waiting here. Sa Job chapter 3, I want you to look here kung ano yung klaseng paghihintay na meron si Job. So, can I ask someone to just read verses 24, 25, 26? So, can I ask Ashley, can you read Job 3 verses 24 to 26?
Job chapter 3, verse 24. For my sighing cometh before I eat, and the roarings are poured out like the waters. 25. For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. 26. I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came.
Ayan. So, basically, the idea here is he wants to die, but he is not dying. And he is patiently waiting for that. Parang he's very impatient and he was very stressed. He really want to experience that one. So this is the idea na meron sa Job. And this is one of the things that describes the word waiting here. So basically, paghihintay lang talaga. And it has a lot of meanings, whether you wait for someone, hindi ka makapaghintay, or yun nga, according sa Job. But, yung sabi dito, blessed is the one who waits and reaches the 1,335 days. Along with this idea of waiting, merong isang use or merong isang paggamit yung waiting dito. And magkikita natin siya sa prophetic writings or sa writings sa mga prophets. Ang paggamit nila ng original word na wait or paghihintay, kapag ang hinihintay nila ay hindi tao or pangyayari, kung ang hinihintay nila ay Diyos, si God. Like, for example, merong isang verse doon sa prophetic writing, sabi doon, Behold, this is our God. We have waited for Him. So, once ang focus ng paghihintay nila ay hindi tao, hindi bagay, or hindi events, kung ang focus ng paghihintay nila si God, then waiting, meron siyang mas malalim na meaning. Hindi lang siya basta-basta paghihintay, pero it becomes hope. It becomes, nagiging pag-asa siya. And this is also related to the idea na yung sa idea na meron sa Romans, na kapag we have hope, we are waiting for someone that is not yet there. And in the book of Romans, ang paghihintay doon is si God. So basically, if we understand na ang waiting, kapag ang focus ay si God, hindi lang siya basta-basta paghihintay. Pero ang paghihintay dito, it has hope. It's because we are expecting better things when the one whom we wait for comes. Yun yung waiting na tinutukoy dito. So basically, if we take the meaning of those two words and babasahin natin sila dito, this is how I would translate it. Truly happy is the one who waits with hope. And di pa doon nagtatapos kasi dito naman, and later on i-explain ko kung bakit itong word na riches ay related dito siya sa days or sa 1,335 days. And later on makikita din natin na ang meaning nito ay hindi lang siya sa future or hindi lang siya matagal as Jewel mentioned earlier. Ang word na riches, this is related sa idea ng paghawak or pag-touch. The original word of riches, ang meaning niya ay paghawak. We could say na kapag hinawakan ni Angel si Prophet Jeremiah sa labi niya, yung original word na yon is riches or to touch. Kasi nung hinawakan ni Lord yung bibig ni Jeremiah, yun yung word na yun, to touch. Pero yung structure kasi ng original word ng riches, ito basically yung best translation ng original word na ito, pagdating. So, hindi lang siya about physical touch, pero related din siya sa pagdating sa isang point or sa isang lugar. So, yun yung parang idea that we can keep in mind when we have the word blessed, tapos waits, tapos riches. So, this word, hindi lang siya pinagpala, pero this is waiting with hope. This is true happiness. Truly happy is the one who waits with hope and reaches to the 1,335 days. And now, this 1,335 days, I want to share briefly before natin i-investigate ito. Yung 1,335 days. So, let me remove this. Itong days, it's one of the most used words sa Old Testament. Especially we have the creation week, and there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Tapos we have the division na kung saan hinahati mo yung umaga sa gabi. It is also used that way in the Bible. Tapos, it could be used literally, pero it doesn't always mean na kapag ginamit sa Hebrew Bible ang salitang days, ibig sabihin 24 hours. Hindi lang siya 24 hours pag tinutukoy natin yung days. Pero, even outside prophecy, kasi I believe na na-mention natin na this whole thing is prophecy. This whole thing is prophecy. Pero even outside prophecy, hindi lang talaga literal na 24 hours. Pero it could also mean pag sa morning or pag sa evening, it could be a point in time or a place or a specific event or succession of events. So maraming use ang days na hindi lang siya naka-confine sa 24 hours. Pero, pagdating sa prophecy, ang days ay ginagamit in connection sa tinatawag na year. Shucks, hindi pala maganda yung sulat ko. Year, day, principle. Pag sa year, day, principle, ibig sabihin, pagdating sa prophecy, ang isang day ay equivalent sa isang year. So very quickly, can I ask Shekinah, can you go very quickly sa Ezekiel chapter 4 and can you read there verse 6?
Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 6. Sabi po dito, the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, which was overthrown in a moment with no hand to help her.
Is that Ezekiel 4 verse 6?
Sorry,
Ay, it's okay.
ibang book pala siya.
Yep. Oh.
Ezekiel 4 verse 6, and when you decide, then you shall bear the iniquity on you a day for each year.
So, I have laid for you a day for each year. So, basically, the idea here is, isang day equivalent sa isang year. That's basically yung idea sa prophecy. So, in answer to our question kanina, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng 1,335 days? Now, here's the fun part. We will then begin to study ano yung ibig sabihin ng 1,335 days. Pero, we need first to understand na this is, na kapag prophecy ito, it's not just days, but years. So, 1,335 days. So, we will begin the question by answering, ano ba talaga yung ibig sabihin nito? So, for this one, we will go around the book of Daniel to connect pieces together and somehow bring out the meaning sa 1,335 days. So first, let's start by reading Daniel 12 verses 11 and 12. So can I ask Ashley to read those two verses? Daniel 12 verses 11 and 12.
Daniel 12 verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. 12. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days.
Ayan. So I want you to, now as we go, as we jump from one verse to another, I want you to keep those two groups in mind. Una, yung numbers, Yung pangalawa, yung key terms. As for the numbers, sa binasa ni Ashley, I want you to remember yung 1,290 days at saka yung 1,335 days. Let's try to we just recall ourselves. Okay, pag sa numbers, 1,290 days and then 1335. And then sa other group, which is in key terms, I want you to remember that the term daily sacrifice is taken away. So basically, wala nang daily sacrifice. So yun yung idea na yun. Kasi later on, we'll connect these two groups together and see how it really brings out this meaning. And I'll read very quickly dito sa verse 7. Sabi sa verse 7, "Then I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half a time. And when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished." So sa numbers, again, 1,200, 1,290, 1,335, and this time, yung time, times, and half a time. But to make it simple for now, ang equivalent nito according sa prophecy is 1,260 days. So right now we have three numbers, okay? 1,260, 1,290, and 1,335. Sa other group naman, we have here the daily sacrifice. Now, I want you to jump backwards. Let's go sa Daniel 11 verse 31. For this one, can we ask Jewel to read this verse? Daniel 11 verse 31.
Daniel 11 verse 31 says, "His armed forces will rise up to desecrate the temple fortress and will abolish the daily sacrifice. Then they will set up the abomination that causes desolation."
Ayan. So again, in the other group, we have here the term 1,000, daily sacrifice is taken away. Sa binasa ni Jewel, I want you to remember that the terms, yung daily sacrifice is taken away, at saka yung abomination of desolation, these two terms sa other group, they are closely related. Para magkadikit sila. But I want you to keep that in mind as we jump to another verse. Now, for this time, let's go to Daniel chapter 8. Shekinah, can you read Daniel chapter 8? And we'll read verse 11, 12, and 13.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 11, it says here, "He even exalted himself as high as the prince of the host, and by whom the daily sacrifices were taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down." 12, because of the aggression, an army was given over to the horn to oppose the daily sacrifices, and he cast Truth down to the ground. He did all this and prospered. 13, then I heard a holy one speaking, and another holy one said to that certain one who was speaking, "How long will the vision be concerning the daily sacrifices and the transgression of desolation, the giving of both the sanctuary and the host to be trampled underfoot?"
Okay.
Is
Sige. You can read verse 14 then.
Okay. "And he said to me, for 2,300 days, then the sanctuary shall be cleansed."
Ayan. So sa verse 11 to verse 14, we have here we find here na yung terms na again yung taking away of daily sacrifice, tapos yung abomination of desolation. This is related sa idea dito. And this is also related sa ginagawa niya. and sa 2,300 days. But for now, I want you to remember na ito yung ginagawa ng power against God. Pero I just want you to remember again, connected ang taking away of daily sacrifice and yung abomination of desolation. And lastly, Daniel chapter 7 verse 25. So can we ask Ashley to read that verse?
Verse, ano po?
Verse 25, Daniel chapter 7.
Daniel 7 verse 25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
Okay. Now, I want you to remember na yung little horn, kasi let's add another keyword. So again, sa first group, we have here the numbers 1260, 1260, 1290, at 1335. Ito naman sa another group, we have here the taking away of daily sacrifice, tapos yung abomination of desolation. Now, yung sa second group, which is the key terms, ito yung ginagawa din ng little horn. And this little horn, according sa Daniel 7 verse 25, meron connected siya sa idea na 1260 kasi time, times, and half a time. So kung yung ginagawa ng little horn, and now this is where I kind of connect things together, and hopefully it makes sense to you, but if not, we can also continue another Bible study in the future. Pero ang idea dito is, ang little horn, connected siya sa second group, which is the abomination of desolation and yung taking away of daily sacrifice. And then connected siya sa 1260. This is how I would see things. Una, yung little horn, meron siyang pangyayari na around 1,260 days, tatanggalin niya yung daily sacrifices. In my understanding, this is about placing a copycat, yung counterfeit ba sa sacrifice ni Jesus. So we have here yung idea na kapag yung little horn, sana clear? Kung hindi, wait lang, let me, ay, hindi pa pala clear. So yun, sa may little horn, itong little horn na to, 1,260 years or days or years. According sa history, merong duration na, in our understanding, this is the papacy. Basically, for 1,260 years, magbibigay siya ng counterfeit sa sacrifice, sa daily sacrifice ni Jesus, or sa ministry ni Jesus sa heavenly place or sa heavenly sanctuary. This happened noong 538 AD and it ended noong 1798. So I'll be very quick here since we have like 6 minutes. Now, this is 1,260. But remember nung sinabi ko na related ang 1260 sa 1290 and sa 1335? Here's the thing. According sa binasa natin, yung 1260 tsaka 1290, and sorry, we'll use a bit of maths here. Yeah, so 1290, 1260, this is related sa event kung kailan siya natapos. And both of these numbers ended at 1,790 days. So Kuya Mark, kung nag-start ang 1260 sa 538 tapos nag-end dito, Kailan naman to nag-start? According sa math, nag-start ito 30 years before 538 AD. And according sa history, this happened around 508. Pero kung yung papacy 538 to 1798, ano namang nangyari dito sa 508? Before ko pala i-mention to, explain ko lang kung bakit natapos yung 1798 dito. Natapos kasi yung Little Horn sa 1798 kasi during 1798, ang Pope, or at that time, yung Pope during that time, nalagay siya sa kulungan, sa prison. And ang nag-imprison sa kanya yung leader ng France. So, lagay ko lang FR. So, France. And guess what? During 508 AD, merong na-convert. Ang na-convert during that time ay yung King of France. Or during that time, ang term nila is Franks. Ang pangalan ng king ay si King Clovis. Clovis. So this king, na-convert siya noong 508 AD. And during that time, ang France ay nakipagdigmaan against three tribes na meron silang pinanghahawakan na something that is not actually agreeing sa church na to, sa Catholic Church. Pero masyado na kasi malalim. So basically, dahil na-convert si King Clovis, wait lang, let me clean things up. Yan. So basically, na-convert si King Clovis noong 508 AD. So basically, the time na na-convert siya until 1798, we have here 1290. Ngayon, connected siya sa binasa natin kanina na Daniel chapter 12, verse 11. And according dito, from the time that the daily sacrifice is taken away and the abomination of desolation set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Now, here's the fun part. Yung 1290, related siya sa 1335. I'll explain why kung bakit. Kasi sa verse 12, sabi dito, blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. Ang addition dito sa 1290 para maging 1335 ay 45. Can someone tell me 1798 plus 45? Can I ask Jewel? Jewel, can you tell us what is 1798 plus 45?
1843, kuya.
1843.
43.
Can someone tell me kung anong nangyari during 1843 AD? Meron? Or for now, you guys have no clue for now? Okay. So it seems we don't have yet much idea dito. Ang 1843 AD, dito yung initial prediction, yung regarding sa 2300 day prophecy. Yung regarding sa Advent na darating si Jesus. Yun yung understanding nila. Later on, 1844. And later on, October 22. We'll explain more as I set up another meeting kasi we have less than 1 minute. Pero basically, ang meaning ng 1,335 days, it ended here. Based on how we understand it, if we really take history to consideration. So, yun. So, do you have any questions before around this, or so for now, clear naman?